Howdy everybody, this is Joel again with GZ Lures. I'm here today to show y'all how we do Flashabou skirting. So Flashabou skirting, it's a little bit more meticulous on how you need to set the skirts and how everything needs to flow together. If not, you might have bulges on one side and not enough material on the other side. So I'm gonna step everyone through how to do it. Very simple tools that you're gonna need to complete this one. Of course, some hair material. This is going to be TTS Strobez. We really like this material. It's very fine. It's very vibrant, so we do like that one. Next off, you're going to need some tie. Whenever you're dealing with rigging floss for Flashabou, I would recommend don't use a 50. I would use a 30 just because it's a smaller tie. It really gets in there and gets it all locked down, and you don't have a very large line of tie on the top of your lure. The other thing, of course, pair of scissors. Get some good sharp scissors, because if not, it's not going to cut very well. The other thing, hair ties. Go to Walmart, Walgreens, wherever you are, just go get you some small little black hair ties. It helps out holding all the material down while you're doing this. So today it's going to be a deep 6 Malolo from Aloha. Beautiful lure. We're going to go ahead and skirt that one today. So ice blue over pink. You're always going to want to start with your inner skirt. But before I get into this one, just want to make sure, if you like the video, like, share, and go ahead and subscribe to GZ Lures for a good old time. All right, so first off, you're going to get your inner skirt. Your inner skirt, hold your lure upside down. What you're going to do, get a hair tie. Depending on how large they are, and again, these are small rubber band hair ties. These are the best for it. But what you're going to do, lure upside down, you're going to put it on your lower skirt saddle. Grab your inner skirt and just set it in there. You see everything holds in place. Once you have it set in place, go ahead, pull off, zip tie, sometimes they're staples. Different manufacturers do it different way. So go ahead and pull that off. Now everything is free floating on it. Very simple. You're going to use your thumb. Just squish everything around. Make sure everything seats where it needs to. And a good way of looking at this, if you look at your skirt itself, you're going to make sure that everything is even. Sometimes you'll have a low spot. Sometimes you'll have a thick area. So once you got it looks good on that end, go ahead and hold your lure up and make sure that you don't have any bald spots, you could say. So, anyways, once everything is set, everything looks good. You're going to grab 30 pound. Go ahead. Lay down, I'd say about 6 inches above your fingers. Wrap your fingers down. Then it's going to come up over your fingers. You're making a loop. Now, I'm going directly under that rubber band. Whenever you're tying off, make sure you're putting downward pressure, because if you don't, you will not get the skirt material all the way down onto that, that saddle ridge. So you want to make sure everything is tight. You're going to just do a couple of good turns on it. Make sure you're going directly under the rubber band and under that tag piece that we put up at the top. You want to make sure all of that is where it needs to be. Okay. Take the line out of your fingers. Now you got a big loop. Reach through. Grab that top piece. You're going to pull it tight. Square knot. Very simple. Go over, under, through. Do the reverse. Through, under, over, through. Lock it down. Whenever you're done, go ahead, snip it off. You want to leave probably about, I'd say about 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch left on there, just to make sure it holds properly. That is a reason why we like using diamond rigging floss. There's a lot of wax on it, so it's actually going to adhere. It's going to lock that knot in place. All right, once you got that prep, what you're going to do, all this extra material that's on the very top of your saddle, you're going to go ahead and you're going to trim that off. Just go around, work your way all the way around, just to clean up, because you don't want a lot of that extra hanging down by your hook stop, either by your leader, anything like that, because you don't want it all tangled up in there. So work your way all the way around, trim it off, make it look good. Okay, once you got that prepped, pull off the rubber band. And now, use the same rubber band. You don't need to get another one for this piece. So, you're gonna flip it over, make sure all of it is pushed down. Again, I doubled over the rubber band, slide it over the top of the head. And you're gonna set it right up back down on that ridge. So what it's doing, it's just holding all the material down. You don't want all your material floating everywhere, so it's gonna lock it into place. Next step, grab up your rigging floss again. Same thing, you want about 6 inches above. Use your thumb, hold that rigging floss down. Now this one, you do not want to put downward pressure because, well, then that floss is gonna go in between the material and the lure. You don't want to. You're just making a couple of good, I'd say 4 or 5 turns max around it, just to make sure you got a good tight. Make sure you wrench that down. You do not want this loose. If you do, if your line itself is loose, your material is just going to fall out. You don't want that. So once you got it set, do the same thing. Pull your line through the hole, get it tight. Do your square knot, over, under, through. Reverse, under, over, through, lock it down. Go ahead, snip off. Like I said, you want about 1/4 inch, 3/8 of an inch left on there, just a little bit. The reason is, let's roll that rubber band down. We're gonna get those 2 tags that are hanging up, push them down, get it locked into place. We use Zap Gap. Zap Gap works great. It's a very quick drying glue. We're just gonna put a little bit on here, not much. It's just to fully lock everything into place. While that's drying out, let's go ahead and get everything else prepped. So, we got that one drying. Like I said, we're gonna use ice blue over. So go ahead, get these pulled out. Depending on your lure that you have, depending on the skirt saddle itself, is what you really got to look at for how many packs you're actually going to use. For this one right here, 1 under, 2 over is going to be perfect. If you're looking at doing, let's say a Koya Non Plus, you're going to need 4 packs, 2 inner, 2 outer. It all depends. Some of these packs you're going to use 5 or 6 packs. It all depends on your lure and also how much material comes in this. We have Flashabou. Flashabou, you're actually going to use more product for the same lure as you would with Strobe because Strobe has more material in it. But saying that we got that all dried up, let's go ahead and get everything prepped for your top skirting. Top skirting, it's the exact same thing that we did with the underskirt. I'm gonna feed the rubber band over, I'm gonna slide the material in and tie off. Again, this is a very simple product. This is not difficult to do, but it does take time. And on top of that, takes a little bit of finesse. Whenever we're doing these skirting, and let's say we're doing patterns, or we're doing one color on the back, one color on the belly, it takes a little bit more finesse because you want to make sure everything is lined up properly. You don't have one side droop down further than the other. So it does take a little bit more time. Okay, got one dropped in. I'm gonna move my fingers to the back side, same thing, shove it in there. Now everything is held into place. What I will say is I'm gonna grab this, I'm gonna sink it down because I don't need that much hanging over. I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side. Once everything is set, go ahead, pull off these zip ties and do the same thing that we did. We're gonna squish it around. Squish everything around, make it look real nice, not poofy in one area. We're not going to have it overhang too much. You gotta make sure you don't have these huge areas, because if you do, whenever you do your top tie, it will not look right. You're gonna have too much bulging in one area and not enough in the other. It's not gonna look proper. So, same thing, I'm looking at the top of the skirting. I'm making sure I don't have too much or too little. After I got that part down, now I'm gonna look at the lure itself. I'm gonna make sure I don't have any bald spots because you don't want that. All right. So we got that set, everything is proper on it. Back to my floss. Again, it's the same thing, it's just repetition. So under the rubber band, putting downward force so it is pulling the rigging line toward the skirt saddle. And we're just going to make a couple of good loops. Make sure it is tight, it's not loose, because if it's loose, your material is gone, and we do not want that. Okay, once we got that set, let's go ahead, through the loop, grab the line, pull it tight. Once you got that tight, go ahead, do your square knot, over, under, through. Same thing, back around, and we're tight. Go ahead, trim off. Okay, and go back, trim off your material. Again, you do not want a lot of excess material because that's going to make it bulge out a whole lot more. Do not want that. So, everything just works all the way around. Like I said, you got a good pair of scissors. It's going to clean it up real nice. Okay, once you got it trimmed off, go ahead, pull your bottom rubber band, go ahead, pull the other one. These things are cheap. These rubber bands, you can get 200, 250 of them for 99 cents at Walmart. You do not have to pull them off and keep reusing. You could just cut them off if you want. It's a preference thing. Okay, flip this over and sink it down. So, what I like to do, I'll use 2 rubber bands on this one just because I have a lot of material working right there. Do not want it all flopping around everywhere when I'm trying to do that top tie. So, get another one, run it down, get it locked into place. Go ahead, grab the other band. This one is going to go on your top saddle. This is going to lock this thing down for us to go through and do your top tie. All right. This is, like I said, a little bit of finesse whenever we're doing this one part. Go ahead, do your 6 inches, loop it around. Don't get it tight yet because we're going to maneuver the material. You want it just a little loose, not too, just a little bit loose, but if you notice, I can pull this down and actually tighten up everything. So we got a really tight material. Because, like I said, I don't want to see that huge bulge in any one area. So, same thing, do a couple of 3, 4, 5 turns around it, make sure everything is tight. Once it's tight, go ahead, do your knots. Try to line it up with the top of your lure or the belly. I would recommend, we like to do the top. Some people do the bottoms. I just wouldn't recommend doing the knot on the side. Just doesn't look as well. So again, it's a personal preference for me. Cut off your excess. Move this down so it's out of the way. And the only thing you're going to do left, another dab of glue. Just a little bit. You do not want to soak that thing in glue. You got to be careful, especially using Zap Gap, using Loctite gel. There's a lot of different ones that people use. If you're already so close to that head, if you end up messing up and get it on the head, some of these heads you cannot use acetone on. You put acetone on them, it's just going to destroy the heads. So you got to be very careful whenever you're doing it. You don't want to go overboard with it. But once you're completed, everything looks good. This is where you're going to trim up to your specs, whatever you prefer. Some people like a little bit shorter, some people longer. It really depends, again, on your hook rig. It depends on what style fishing you're going for. That is all a personal preference. So you could easily just trim off the end, make sure everything is flush, make sure it's all cleaned out, or you could cut it down to whatever size you want. We have 9-inch strobes, we have 12-inch strobes. We do have to trim to, depending on what lure head that you're using. But that's all it is. That's all it takes to do strobe or tantrum strobe, Flashabou, any kind of hair material. That's all it takes to rig these up. Very simple, not difficult, just takes a little bit of time. Thank you all for coming around. Like I said, if you liked the video, or if you liked it, please hit the like, subscribe, and check us out, GZ Lures on YouTube. Check out our website. If y'all have any questions, give us a call. Thank you for your time.